Hello everyone, I am YawnMan2400 and today I have the pleasure of talking about my favorite game of 2022, Tunic. Tunic is an isometric adventure puzzle game with an emphasis on exploration. It was made by the visionary Andrew Sholdis, and he was later joined by developer Eric Billingsley. It was heavily inspired by old school Zelda titles and boasts a challenging combat system and a vibrant, diverse world that keeps you wanting to see more of it. That's all I have to say for now because really I'm having a super hard time making this video. I really want to make it just to get my thoughts out there about this game. However, this game is an absolute masterpiece in my eyes, and I think going into the game without any knowledge whatsoever is the best way to experience it, the only way to experience it. Which is why in order to preserve this experience, I'm going to split this video up into different sections, slowly ramping up in spoileriness. The first section being a spoiler-free version, and from there slowly incorporating more and more until by the end I will talk about the game in its entirety, spoilers and all. Each section will come with a spoiler warning, and will detail my personal experience throughout the game. With that being said, let's get right into it. The game starts. The camera pans to you, a fox, waking up on the beach. This is the end of section 1. If you have not played the game, please just take my word for it. Go buy it, play it, because everything past this point in the video will contain something that will ruin one or more facets of the experience. I'm being serious. I am absolutely unable to talk about this game at all, besides what has already been said, without spoiling something. After your character wakes up, you are treated to a very charming atmosphere, and soon realize that you are unable to read most things printed in the game, and that everything, or most things, are written in these curious hieroglyphs. This game tells you absolutely nothing to start with. Not what you are supposed to do, where to go, or even the basic fundamentals of how to play the game. That is, until you find a key to this door here. Upon entering the door, you find a note, which happens to be a piece of the game manual. This here is the core mechanic of the game, and also why I am so reluctant to say anything about it to people who have not yet played the game. Because picking up that first piece of manual was such a special moment for me. This sudden realization that everything is hidden, even the core mechanics of moving and combat. After this, I explored around the area that I was put into, finding some hidden chests and things like this, and soon found myself in the eastern forest. Armed with nothing but a stick, I ventured further into the forest, and found an enemy that was nice enough to cut these bushes for me, and I unlocked the first sword. I love this moment, because for me it really introduced me to the kind of thinking that the game requires of you in terms of puzzles. Using environment and enemies to forge a way ahead that is different from just combat. Soon after, I found healing potions, which were replenished after resting at a checkpoint, fought the first boss, and rang the first bell. This is all starting to sound a little familiar. This first area of the game acts as a really fun hidden tutorial. There are no lessons that are given to you. Everything that you learn in this area is simply from learned experiences. Those experiences that you have help you understand the basic mechanics of combat and puzzle solving. This kind of tutorial is much more engaging to me than what I've seen in many other games, both indie and AAA nowadays, where it is a very straightforward, this is how you shoot, this is how you move, this is how you look around, here are the items you're looking for to interact with. Everything felt very freeform and like I was learning it for myself. Now it is time for, well, what else but more aimless wandering and exploring. The best kind, if you ask me. find some more pages for the manual, and most importantly, find the shield. Eventually, I found my way into some sewers and into the West Garden, where I found my first magical ability, fought another boss, and rang the second bell. This here will end section 2. If you haven't played the game yet, that's fine. I'm hoping that with some light spoilers you're intrigued and will cease your watching of this video and go play the damn game, because sooner or later there will be a point of no return and you will be kicking yourself. With that being said, let's continue onwards. Upon ringing the second bell, the golden doors open back up and allow you inside. It is here where the game cracks wide open for the first time. As you explore the temple, you will find this manual page, which tells you about one very important game mechanic that has been hidden from you until now. As I went through the beginning, I would see these things every now and again, these obelisks. Not knowing what they were, I would move on. This page shows you that they can be activated by holding the dodge button for 3 seconds. After this, the whole game opens up as you open more and more areas by using this ability. It is here I want to stress that it is crucially important that you have always had this ability. In no way do you need this manual page in order to do this. The absolute core of this game is in this example, which is why I want to spend some time here. The beauty of this game is that everything, with one exception, is available to you from the moment you hit the new game button. The best part is that is not hyperbole. Every single thing I talk about in this video, every little secret, can be done from the first input you make. It's just simply that you don't know how to do anything yet. This type of game design is so hard to pull off correctly. There are many games before Tunic that have hidden mechanics or hidden stat values, but this game takes that concept and distills it into the purest form of discovery a game can give you. On the back side of this manual page, it gives you a hint of what to do next. It seems like we need to find 3 pieces of something. Then, upon exiting the temple from a previously unavailable exit, we unlock the way to the next area, the beginning of the Eastern Forest. This beginning section introduces us to praying by the obelisks to activate them, which will also power up a nifty checkpoint to use. Then continue to find another manual page that clarifies our newest objective. Next is adventuring down through some caves, getting through the forest temple, finishing off the area with another boss fight to get the first orb. Here is where I found the second big surprise linked to this praying mechanic. You can use the same mechanic on these golden pads that have been lying around to get into the spirit realm that was first encountered at the beginning of the game. This place acts as a fast travel hub, where you can travel between all available yellow pads that are powered up by the obelisks. With a little bit of experimentation, I found one of the fast travel points leads to a new area, the Ruined Atoll. This newest area is a nice, refreshing area with a cute beach vibe, different from what I had seen thus far for sure. I didn't need to explore much until I found my way into the frog's domain and found myself a nifty hookshot. Not quite as mind-blowing to me as the prayer ability, this hookshot was still an aha moment when I realized I could grab onto the many hooks and prongs sticking out of the ground to get around the map faster, and to get to areas previously unavailable to me. The frog domain also acts as a small tutorial for this important item as well. It is here that you can definitely feel the Zelda influence with how they teach you new mechanics and item abilities. The second you find an item, it is immediately useful to you in the surrounding area, allowing you, the player, to use the new item and get used to the new toy that you've just picked up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I may have some qualms about Zelda dungeon design, but this is certainly not one of them. At the end of the frog's domain, you come across another orb. But, oh no, it's already been taken. Well, guess we just gotta get out of here and go find it. After finding the hookshot, the rest of the ruined atoll is unlocked for you, and after aimlessly exploring and activating random obelisks, I realized that they all led to the same place. After praying at the central statue, I was taken to the Great Library, and there is where I found a total of 3 manual pages, giving me a total of 6 new pieces of information. It was quite the boon indeed. However, they don't seem important quite yet. Climb the ladder, fight the librarian, which is the boss of this area, and get yourself a brand spankin' new orb piece. I'm about to head into the quarry, the magnificent, miasmic monster of an area. The amount of mystery held within this area is so thick you need a damn gas mask to get through it. This area introduced to me a new source of damage. This weird purple fog. I actually found it before in the atoll, leaking out of pipes that contained the energy produced by the obelisks. Here, however, it is on a whole other level. To get through this section, you will probably need a gas mask. I wasn't kidding about that. Or else you'll have a snowball's chance in hell, because this purple energy very quickly drains your maximum health. And it only replenishes at a checkpoint, of which there is 1 in the entirety of the quarry. Upon entering this new area, I activated an obelisk, which opened this massive door in the distance. Our next destination, the ziggurat. Big story spoilers ahead, so watch out. Underneath the ziggurat is one of the most rewarding and oh shit moments throughout this game. It is here that I learned the true nature of the obelisks, or at least, I think I did. The game doesn't tell you directly, and I really don't want to imprint my conjecture onto your understanding of the story, so I will simply show you. This is such an awesome moment. It makes me even more glad that there's no dialogue throughout the entire game. Simply showing and not telling is one of the most powerful storytelling methods in any visual media, and in games that intensifies because you are the one experiencing it. This method also allows you to fill in the blanks for yourself. What are these black and purple things? Are they others like me? Are they simply otherworldly spirits that this world has enslaved? The events in the ziggurat can be interpreted in any which way you want, and it is informed by your experiences and feelings as a player. It is not informed by a computer telling you how to feel in this moment, or a computer setting up your emotional response by spoon-feeding you exposition earlier in the game. Shortly after this scene, you fight the boss of the area and finally grab the last orb piece. Now, after collecting the the green, red, and blue orb thingies, I went back to the temple and slotted them into place. Ladies and gentlemen, We have finally arrived. We have done it. We have... Wait. Where did the spirit fox mom go? Oh. Oh, here she is, and she's bestowing me a new sword. Wait. No. She's draining all my stats and fighting me? Then killing me? You thought you were done with the game? Well, think again, because you haven't even gotten your feet wet yet. This is when the game is going to really just bust wide open, which is why I want to have one more spoiler warning. After this moment is where really the core of the experience is. And I don't want to ruin that for you. You don't want me to ruin that for you. I swear this will be the last time I will do this. Just go play the game. It's $30 on Steam, and if money's an issue, I can spot you $30. You just have to find a way to let me know. Alright, here we go. Section 5. Here I awake once more, on this familiar beach. Why? Again, I do not know. After all the manual pages, after all the bosses, I feel as lost now as I did at the beginning. Wait a minute. The library, there was a page about a place, the one place I have only gazed upon briefly, bleary-eyed and new to the world. The swamp. Surely there must be answers. The gates here only open once you are dead. And with starting stats, I braved this new world like an action hero on the verge of defeat. The enemies are definitely endgame material. The dev did not want in any way to make it easy for you here just because you do no damage and can only take a few hits. Eventually, I made my way to the cathedral, and at the center of the cathedral, and at the bottom of the world, I ran into 7 statues, all corresponding to different enemies I had faced off with before. A good old boss rush, my favorite thing. This here is quite the difficult challenge, as I only had one opportunity to replenish my health and potions throughout, an opportunity I did not know about until I had already failed a few too many times. At the end, you are rewarded with a truly game-changing item, the Halo. This item is always equipped, much like the shield is, and changes your dodge to a short-ranged blink. This item allows you to get to places you were never able to get to before, even with the hookshot, and allows you to grab a few important manual pages. And here, this page is where I remembered one thing. The hero, me, and the graves of the hero. You can actually go and pray at the graves of the hero to go to another place in the spirit realm. Here is where you get your stats back. And this is where I embarked on another grand adventure through the new version of the bright, vibrant world I once knew, to reclaim my power and defeat the final boss. That was until I found this manual page. Hidden in the West Garden is an optional manual page, and this one page breaks the entire game. Under the clearing the game section, the only visible page was one that said, "Take your rightful place," with a picture of your character squaring up to the spirit mom. This new page says, "Share your wisdom," with a depiction of the player holding up a book, or more particularly the game manual. This one discovery launched me into an entirely different experience, one of countless discovery and endless mystery. The next and last section is the story of the final secret of Tunic. I must go back briefly. Before I found this page in the West Garden, I had found a previous manual page that shows that there are certain doors with a pattern on them. You must input that pattern into the D-pad while standing in front of them, and they will open. and you can feast on the delectable collectibles and loot contained within. At that time, I did not know the reaching repercussions of this interaction. It turns out, the D-pad is the single most important thing in the game. You know, the thing I've never touched in the entire playthrough? Well, it's the key to the biggest, most all-encompassing secret I've ever experienced in gaming. Introducing the Golden Path. It all starts with this golden obelisk. One that has been there in the main hub from day one. One I thought was just a nice decoration. And just like the secret doors, I input the pattern printed on the obelisk and was gifted with another manual page. A combination on the D-pad, when inputted, sends out these golden strands that will converge to certain areas. This is known as the Seeking Spell. Along with pictures of the spell, this manual page also has a list of areas. And on the back of the page is a 5x5 grid filled with different numbers. I went to the many places listed on the manual page and cast the Seeking Spell only to become more confused. Sometimes they would converge. Sometimes they would spread out and not point in a particular place. And after hours, and I mean hours, of searching, I slowly came to an earth-shattering realization that in all of the areas I have visited there are patterns, whether it be on a wall or an arrangement of flowers, stones set in a certain way. I was shocked as my mind filled with the knowledge that everything in this game is meticulously and painstakingly put there. No one used space. Nothing is put down just for decoration. It felt like I was cracking open a worldwide conspiracy, like I had alone the knowledge to bring the entire system down. After recovering from the initial shock, I got to work. Busted out my paper and pen and got to drawing, connecting dots, inputting these patterns into the D-pad, and lo and behold, with every pattern I got correct, a chest spawned, and upon opening this chest, a fairy would fly out and would make its way back home. Here, unfortunately, I lost some of the footage for this section of the game, but the patterns are always hidden in very clever and mind-bending ways. One was the moss growth on the wall, another an invisible path you had to chart out. Every fairy I freed felt like it was well earned, and that I was an absolute genius for figuring it out, probably because I am. After introducing my newfound fairy friends to freedom like the red-blooded American I am, I visited the secret fairy garden, and they rewarded me with, you guessed it, another manual page. You see, this was not the Golden Path. I have not yet embarked on the Golden Path. And in fact, the Golden Path was hidden on page 49. That 5x5 grid, this goddamn 5x5 grid plagued my dreams for a fortnight. What could it mean? I thought it had something to do with certain page numbers, but there was no correlation between the numbers on the grid. I broke down and looked at some spoiler-free hints online. That's right, I said it. One person said, "You're on the right track with your first guess. If nothing jumps out at you, try looking at some other pages." So I did that, and after no joke, 2 straight hours of poring over this manual, of which I lost the footage. I'm sorry. File corrupted. Oops. My fault. I found it. I found the Golden Path. The final, seemingly insurmountable puzzle of a complexity I was not ready for mentally. Each page notated in the grid has one line somewhere that is colored in gold. It could be in a picture. It could be part of a grid. It could be a portion on the border of the page. Luckily, I kept the pen and paper nearby and started feverishly drawing out these patterns. I drew a 5x5 grid and started filling it up with every damn pattern I found on the corresponding pages. But there was just one more hiccup. Some of the pages I was unsure about. It could be this, or it could be this. By the time I had the realization there could be multiple versions of the Golden Path, and that only one of them was right, I simply had to stop for the night. I was going on 4 hours of looking at a digital game manual, and like a man possessed by the ghost of McDonald's Happy Meal mazes, was drawing incoherent patterns on a sheet of paper. And so I stopped, and I went to work. But while at work, I decided to shirk my duties and drew out every possible combination of this damn golden path possible. And then after 8 hours of waiting, I went home and got to cracking. Then, this happened. Okay. Left, down, left, up, down, left, up, right, up, right, down, right, up, left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down, right, up, right, down, left, down, right, up, right, down, right, up, right, down, right, up, right, down, left, down, right, down, left, down, right, down, right, up, right, down, right, up, right, down, left, up, right, up, left, down, left, up, right, up, left, up. Holy shit! I fucking did it. I fucking did it. I cannot believe this. I did it with this, baby. I fucking drew that shit out and then I mapped it out. And that's one possible combination. That's 2 possible combinations. That's fucking 3 possible. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I drew 8, 9. I drew 9 maps. And I did it at work. And the first one I made, number 1, was the right one. The golden path opened up the door in the mountains and led me to the final page, the final hurdle. The insanity is done and I have conquered my demons. I've shared my knowledge and saved the world from its unceasing loop of heroes and villains. I was, truly, a hero, and by God, I felt like one too. I hope that if you are here and at the end of this video you have played Tunic. And if you haven't, then, well, you have in fact played yourself, because this was a beautiful game. Nothing I have played has given me the same feelings I felt after solving that final puzzle. I love everything about this game. The world, the art style, the game design, the world design. The creator Andrew Schultes worked very hard on this game for over 7 years, and goddamn, it shows. Every little detail was painstakingly and meticulously placed to elicit wonder, encourage exploration, and reward experimentation. After the lengthy process of letting you all into my personal experience with this gem, I would like to take a little bit more of your time, if you don't mind, to tell you a short story. When I was a younger man, I, as well as the world, fell in love with a little game called Shadow of the Colossus. The empty space and beautiful world really let you explore every crevice of the world map, and although it was devoid of life, it was out of this world fun to delve into. The emptiness also made the game feel dark, mysterious, secretive, and coy. It felt that around any corner could be something that would amaze and delight. Inevitably, after beating the game, I searched for secrets, or particularly one single secret. I spent many hours of my life looking for the fabled 17th Colossus, but to no avail, for there was none. But I kept looking anyway, because the game just felt like there was something big right around the corner. I wanted to say this and tell this brief story because I think it may resonate with a lot of people. And as I was writing this script, I had a sudden realization. I love Tunic for many of the same reasons I love Shadow of the Colossus, particularly the world and the sense of wonder that accompanies it. I had the same feelings of finding something awe-inspiring around every corner in Tunic. And then, when I wanted more, when I wanted one more big secret, when I wanted one 17th Colossus, I was given one. The Golden Path. Tunic finally gave me, after searching for over a decade, a secret that rivals none other. A secret that finally fulfilled the deep-seated feeling planted in me by Fumito Ueda. Tunic is an experience I wish I could forget and do all over again, but I can't. So the next best thing was to share my love and appreciation with the world. I found my 17th Colossus, and I hope that Tunic can help you find yours. Thank you for watching.